What's going on, guys? It's Luke22SV here, back with the 18th round of the Mick Schumacher career mode. We're here for the US Grand Prix here in Austin, Texas. Going straight into qualifying for this weekend. No upgrades again. We've got an engine upgrade that we're planning on adding to the car soon, but haven't got enough resource points yet. Added all the resource points towards next year's car, and maybe a few durability upgrades here and there as well. But ninth best car at the moment. We're slipping down the order, so it's going to get harder and harder for us to get into the top half of the grid, and maybe we're going to be towards the back of the grid again. That's how it is going to be, but we're moving on to qualifying then. In for our second lap now, our second flying lap, and as you can see, we're green on the Delta already. Currently behind our teammate Charles Leclerc in P9. But a nice track this is. Not my favourite track to drive on here. I just don't tend to go well. Particularly in Sector 3, that's a bad sector for me. In Sector 1, of course, that's probably one of the best sectors in Formula 1, I'd say. Well, it's mainly a rip-off of other tracks, but nonetheless, we come down onto Sector 2. We've got Alonso in front of us. We lock up a little bit there, but we're quite a lot up on our previous time, so it's not going to cause us problems, and he's going to get out of the way as well. We've got DRS and a bit of slipstream, which should help us even further. So thank you, Alonso. We're now going to get some more time gained from you thanks to that. Hopefully we can get a good lap time here. It's been quite a clean lap so far. This is the problem part of the track, which I just seem to never be able to get right. But this time we look to sort of get it right, and nicely through that part. Come to the end of the lap where Max Verstappen famously overtook Raikkonen off the track, but this is a little bit of the track we end up just getting a bit wrong, just not turning into the apex there. We lost a huge chunk of time, so this lap could have been a lot better, but we decided to settle for it anyway, and P6 at this time. So we move on to the end of the qualifying. Our teammates 10th, so both Red Bulls looking strong again. First and second on the grid, Raikkonen 4th, Vettel 5th, and we're down in P15. Not necessarily the worst result. We're ahead of our huge rival Kevin Magnussen, and ahead of both the Williamses, and of course Stoffel Van Dorn's always towards the back of the grid too, but a couple positions behind our teammate. It could have been a better lap time. It could have been a lot closer to our teammate, but we'll move now on into the race for the US Grand Prix. What can we do from P15 on the grid? Which is 4 races left in this season. It's not long left now. A lot of battles still left to make up. Battle for 4th for Force India and Renault. Battle for 6th between Haas and Sauber. And then the battle for the Drivers' Championship between Raikkonen and Hamilton as well. So we move on to the grid for the US Grand Prix. There's Daniel Ricciardo on pole for Max Verstappen. Red Bull looking very strong this weekend. So Hamilton in front of his rival Raikkonen there, with Vettel and Bottas on row 3, Hulkenberg and Alonso on row 4. So Renault looking strong this weekend. Force India looking a little bit less strong, down 11th and 13th, and there's ourselves in 15th. Brendan Hartley, Stoffel Van Dorn, and as usual the Williams on row 10 at the back of the grid. So we'll move on then into the start of this race for the US Grand Prix. What can we do from P15 on the grid? Let's find out now then. Go on to the lights with 4 lights, and it's 5 lights. And we're away in USA for the American Grand Prix, and it's a fairly slow start as Kevin Magnussen is looking to get alongside us. But we're trying to spot that gap down into the inside of everyone. Magnussen spots it too. Magnussen gains a hell of a load of places there. So a great start from him, but that's bad news for us because we're in a huge fight with Haas in the Constructors. So we're looking to gain places here and quickly going past Alonso, and side by side with Alonso, and actually make contact with him there. And he ends up getting hit by Charles Leclerc, and he's out of the race. So yes, Alonso has an incident with both the Sauber drivers there and is out of the race. So complete disaster. And the virtual safety car is brought out, but we're into P9 at the start of this race, so we can have no complaints about that. But virtual safety car, but complete disaster for Alonso. He was side by side with him and then forced him out wide a little, and he just kind of got hit by Charles Leclerc. It's just frustrating for him, but we're not going to be too worried about that. We're now focusing on Hulkenberg ahead of us and looking to get some points. Which would be unlikely to get points around here. I don't really expect us to get too many points because we obviously struggle around this track, and our car is just falling off the pace. a little bit now, which is okay. We're focusing to next season. We're excited for next season. I think as soon as this season is done, I'm just hoping to get towards the end of the season and look towards the start of next season. Don't know which team we'll be with yet this season, but we're looking to stay with Sauber unless a definite opportunity comes up. We don't really know yet. But now then, coming on to the end of this lap, we're in P9. Daniel Ricciardo leading the race after one lap, which is good news for Red Bull. Red Bull looking really good around here. And now we're looking on to lap 2 with Hulkenberg ahead of us. A little bit of slipstream. Can we get past Hulkenberg into turn 1? We do look a little bit far back. We dive down the inside, locking up a little bit. And Hulkenberg cuts back underneath us and says, no, you're not coming through like that, mate. And he's back into P8. We're down to P9. We've got to find our way back past Hulkenberg again, with the S's in Sector 1 being a very nice, tight and twisty part. Very fast flowing part of the track. We head towards Sector 2. Just looking for a better exit, looking for an opportunity to get past Nico Hulkenberg. But not the opportunity yet, but coming onto the back straight, that is a good opportunity for overtaking. And we're just looking for a potential opportunity into this corner as well. But thinking better of it and thinking if we can get a good run on him up towards here, we can easily get past him and easily take 8th position. And now then, getting into 8th gear, we've got a nice little toe and we're going down the inside of Nico Hulkenberg, and surely this should be a comfortable overtake for P8, and indeed it is. We're up into P8 then in the US Grand Prix, and it's a lovely overtake for us. But now then, we're in P8 and there is our main rival Kevin Magnussen in the Haas ahead of us. We've had so many battles with him this season, and it'll be looking to get another battle here for the US Grand Prix, another battle that we would have. But it seems to be a nice little race here so far. Magnussen ahead of us, Hulkenberg behind us. We're trying to catch up with Kevin Magnussen and trying to get P7. It would be a huge result for us. But Haas recently slipped behind us in the Constructors, are looking to get back ahead of us. But that's not seeming to happen at this stage, with ourselves doing quite well and picking up some points. But Haas is still going to be there. But we're just hoping that the likes of Renault and Force India are going to occupy the top 10 more often than Haas are. But the development has been a lot really close with the midfield this season. So you just don't know which team's going to be in the top half of the grid come race day or qualifying. And Haas have been up there quite a few times, particularly Kevin Magnussen. But normally it tends to be Renault or ourselves as well. We've been really up there a lot in the particularly in the middle part of the season. But now as we're getting towards the end of the season, we're starting to fall back a little bit, and we're starting to fall back into the lower midfield, fighting the likes of Van Dorn and the Toro Rossos. But coming then towards the end of Sector 2, we're starting to close in on Kevin Magnussen, but we've still got the Renaults of Hulkenberg and Sainz behind us, waiting for the chance to get back past us. And our tyres are, well, we're just understeering a bit off the track there. It's just proving that we're not really that confident in the car at the moment, and definitely the Renaults are looking much more confident than us. But coming around here, there's a yellow flag and someone is out of the race, and it looks like Kevin Magnussen slowing down, and Magnussen has just cut across our path and he's taken both of us out of the race. What on earth has happened there? Here it is again. Magnussen driving, just slowing down, and I can't believe what happened here. Just slowing down, we're looking to go past him, and he just turns into our path and we're both out of the race. What on earth was he thinking? I do not know. Here's the onboard. He's just slowing down and he just turns into us, and we're out of the race. He's out of the race because his engine's gone. And here's the view from Hulkenberg. I just couldn't believe my eyes when this happened. I just couldn't believe it. And we're out of the race, out of the US Grand Prix just in a flash. And Kevin Magnussen, I don't honestly know what happened there, but that has completely thrown our rivalry over the edge now, and we're definitely not going to be friendly with Kevin Magnussen after this. A huge disaster. Red Bull are going to be happy though, because Daniel Ricciardo looks to have won the US Grand Prix, but I don't know what happened. Vettel third, Verstappen second. It could have been a race full of so much potential, but taken out on lap 3, out of the race. Another retirement, and there's so many so many penalties as well for everyone else. Hulkenberg and Renault getting 7th and 8th, then Force India and Gasly getting 9th and 10th. We're down in the end, 3 retirements in the first few laps. Our teammate had a poor race as well, but that is going to be pretty much the end of the episode there. It's a short one. Mexico will be up soon in a couple of days' time, but disaster for us. We're down to P8 now in the constructors, in the drivers I should say, but in the constructors we're still ahead of Haas, so if anything, well, it could have been a few more points gained on them, but it's not, and that's how it is. I just can't believe that actually happened there. I've had a few weird incidents this season, but that's going to be the end of the episode there. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in 2 days' time for Mexico. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you